The In This League Podcast Network. In this ring, in this corner, Joe Pisapia. This corner, Tim Heaney. Gentlemen, let's go.
All right, so let's keep going here. Let's hammer through the pre-show. So you had this weird thing with the tag teams with Razor and Dawson against Gable and Rude. I mean, this was just bizarre. What the hell are they doing with that?
They're trying to buy time. I don't know. It was they figured that
what?
I don't know. Believe me, I'm not justifying it.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you could do to justify it except to say they just want to see how much they can piss these guys off. Or how much I can prove to them how little they mean. Because it's true. And I feel like the Revival are still on the upswing. I really do. That's another one where everybody thinks they're leaving, and I don't think they're leaving either.
The Kurt Hawkins stuff was funny. I really liked that.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. I just figured it out. I know this is it. These guys were all in the bubble. You put them all together, right? Like him and Ambrose, the Revival, right? You put them all together and like this whole work and create your own drama there. Instead of letting it play out in the dirt sheets, you let it play out right here on the main roster. Now that would be fun.
It's the reality era. So,
I mean, right? That's a thing. I mean, that's what everybody's always wanted. I never even thought of that. That would be cool. But that means it'll never happen. I mean, honestly,
Ambrose and the Revival will be a pretty sweet stable, though.
Well, I feel like he corrects what they lack. Mm-hmm. You know, they lack that charm, you know, and Dean has charm in spades, and they have technical wrestling ability. Obviously, it's off the charts, but that would be a unique little stable. I think I'd like that. I think that would help all of them right now.
And they could be his lackeys. They could just take out people for him. It'd be awesome.
Exactly. Let's make that work, boys. Nakamura defeats Rusev. And then
weirdness happens after that. We'll get to.
Well, weirdness obviously get the Lana thing, and then that enters into it. But you also had, but then like for SmackDown, him to lose it, like what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to there.
I
don't know, man.
Lana business, and then later on with the women's Rumble, I thought you meant that, but still,
both. But yeah.
I'll tell you what, Nakamura is another guy you could put into that group.
Yeah.
You can have a whole group of these guys. I mean, people want to speculate Nakamura is on the way out there, but I think Nakamura, we pointed out his age, I think he's just, maybe he'll cash in one more time. I think he's happy just floating. He seems to be happy just floating anyway. I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think you're about right. And, when they eventually do unite them on SmackDown Live, maybe that's the team that takes the belts off Miz and Shane.
Maybe. Buddy Murphy retains. Tommy takes the pin there. And
not a bad match.
See you later. I mean, of course it's going to be decent. It's 205. Yeah. All right, let's get to the main show. Asuka defeating Becky Lynch. This was great. This is the way you start off a pay-per-view. This just brought the house down. And I think it was great because it really lent drama to the Women's Royal Rumble, because we were always speculating that Becky would be in this and that she would win. And her losing to Asuka was the perfect setup for that. It's what needed to happen. But I'm sure there was a lot of people that were kind of, I don't know, burned from WWE so many times that they were like, no, are we missing the window again? I'm sure that there was that sentiment out there, right?
Mm-hmm. It's people that just weren't looking enough ahead of the possibilities that could happen, because
or have looked so ahead so many times and been disappointed that they were just resolute.
Right. With,
being disappointed.
Daniel Bryan getting eliminated or not coming into the Rumble at all type of stuff.
Yeah. Right. So this was terrific. And you made a note of it here, and I was going to bring it up too. I love the way she won with the lock, and then she inverted it. I thought that was just terrific, because I don't remember seeing that. I think she did it against Ember Moon one of those times, if I'm not mistaken.
I think one of the NXT times she did it against her.
I want to say I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. And I think that was necessary, because you had to, if you're going to beat the man, then it needs to be a really high level. And it did a couple things. It elevated Asuka, who needed elevating.
Yep.
And at the same time, it didn't make Becky look weak, but it made her the underdog.
Exactly. And the quick finish of it, too, gave it justification that it could have beaten Becky, because it was just such a rapid sequence, and it just happened. And then, oh, crap, I'm caught. So I have to tap. It was great. Yeah, it was just well done.
This was really great agenting. Like, whoever helped choreograph this match and go through everything, this is great work by Becky, great work by Asuka, and great work by the third-party agents, whoever they were. Outstanding. I'd love to know who agented that match, because I thought that match did everything it needed to for both of them, and it's one of those times where everybody left better off for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's few and far between. You have Miz and Shane defeating The Bar to win the SmackDown Live tag titles. Miz didn't turn. It's coming. I really want it to come. I really do, because I think that would just be awesome. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's coming after they lose the tag titles, maybe at Elimination Chamber, or I guess I don't know if they'll probably do it at Fastlane maybe to draw it out a little bit more.
Yeah, one of the two. That would be great. But it's coming. Winter is coming, boys and girls, and that turn is coming, and it's coming soon there. And Shane will always be Shane. Shane will always have. Yeah, every time he does it, we always just go, why does he do these things? Like, why?
Stop it! He's already dead.
You're getting old. You're getting old. You don't have to do this anymore. We're all very impressed with you. Like, Shane either has the biggest wang in the entire world or the smallest. I don't know which one it is. Like, I don't know if he's trying to prove something or if he's just that freaking bat crap out of his mind. Like, he just, I don't know which one it is, but all I know, well, considering the way Vince McMahon works, I guess it's the bigger of the two. So,
or he loves Terry Funk and is just never gonna retire and just keep doing stupid crap.
I don't know, but it really is there a guy? I mean, you've been a wrestling fan your whole life. Is there a guy that if you met him, you wouldn't be more just kind of giggly, like, whoa, Shane McMahon, like you're like this guy, like,
this guy right here,
like who wouldn't want to like throw their arm? Like, oh, I love this guy. Like everybody would. I mean, who doesn't love Shane?
Oh my god,
he's just.
I don't necessarily love how much airtime he gets sometimes, but yeah, you got to respect.
But I mean, he's son of a billionaire who's thrown himself off of cages and things and stuff for going through tables.
Cannonballs on to Steve Blackman from
he's out of his mind. I mean, and he keeps doing it for decades. He's been doing it for decades now.
Yep.
I think when he was young and he was trying to be cool and stuff, but now he's got nothing to prove.
Right.
I mean, God, I can. There's some days I don't even go outside. I don't.
Well, like the East Coast this week.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. This morning I got in the car. It said temperatures at 1, and I know that's nothing compared to those Minnesota and Chicago people, but you guys know what you're getting into there. Mm-hmm. You've already made your deal with the devil. I don't know why you're living there. All right, let's get to one more before we hit a break. There, Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. I know there were some moments that were iffy in this, but I thought this was still a pretty good match overall for both of them. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it still lives up to the sleeper billing. I think that some sequences were nice, like a couple of reversals, and just Sasha does flail about, and that leads to a little bit of trouble sometimes. But you still got to respect what she does in the ring. She's still very good there. So,
well, I feel like that's why she always has her best, and ironically, some of her best work with Nia,
right?
Because the flailing makes Nia look tremendous, and she doesn't do as elaborate stuff as some of the other girls do, and therefore it doesn't get as sloppy sometimes. Like, they're actually one of the better pairings, despite some of them having drawbacks at times, especially Nia having drawbacks at times. But overall, this was a good one, too.
I liked it, yeah.
The whole ending thing, it's the whole handshaking thing I'm over. Like, it's so awkward. I mean, it's working on the sense that it's really irritating. Like, Ronda's characters were really irritating the crap out of everybody, which was obvious on Monday night, too. That was glorious. That was just we'll get to that in a bit. But,
we'll get to that in a second,
but another good one as well, which brings us to the Women's Royal Rumble, which means we're going to hit a break, and we come back. We're going to talk about the ascent of Becky Lynch and the universe getting what they want. Is it what they deserve? Will they be happy with themselves finally? Probably not, but we shall see. More In This Ring with Joe and Tim right after this.
I will drive nothing but Mercedes or Rolls Royce. I will go nowhere. On a commercial airliner, I will ride in nothing but limousine, and I will make love to nothing but
In This Ring.
Okay, so obviously the great drama here. We had Becky Lynch getting into the Rumble here with Lana not being able to go because of her ankle. But before we even get to that, some really nice appearances. We had Rhea Ripley, who I'm a huge fan of, as I like to call her, female Triple H in the making. She is awesome. She just is, man. She just eats, sleeps, and drinks it, man. She just is. This is another one. She's a rock star. You had Casey Catanzaro with a nice little showing there, not to mention also one of the more spectacular rebounds into the ring after a near elimination. What'd you think of that move?
That was fun. That's where you showcase what she can do.
Young teenage boys everywhere, unsure of what to do with themselves at that moment.
Be careful with that with Ricochet and all that. But
you could hear. Oh, is that who she's dating?
She's dating Ricochet. Yeah.
My God, could you imagine the athleticism of those children?
Yeah, I know. The baby flips out of the womb.
Like he's upside down in his crib. You know. Wow.
Oh God. Yeah, that would be a hell of a athletic pairing right there. Yeah.
I mean, look. You also had Io Shirai. Am I missing anybody? Oh, and Kyrie as well. Right.
She ran down the ring, looking through the periscope.
I love Candice LeRae's look. She feels like she's straight out of Glow.
Yes.
Right? Like she has a real 80s vibe about her. Yep. I don't know if it's the blonde hair or the in-ring attire or whatever, but she just kind of has that feel. And it was great. I mean, you had Natalya going 52 minutes there. Great showing for her. Oh, Lacey Evans as well, starting out as one. Great entrance beginning for her.
Very nice showcase, yes.
Giving her the time of, I mean, when she walked down the ramp and then went to let the person kiss her hand and then pulled it away and made the face at him, like she is money in the bank. And I mean, it's funny because about a year ago this time I was talking about her and I told you that girl's a star. She's going to move up, and not because she's pretty and blonde, but because she's got that thing. She's got that intangible entertainer quality, and she's good in the ring. I mean, she is. She's not perfect yet.
She's improved, yeah, steadily.
But she's strong.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, you know, she's a better in-ring competitor than Billie Kay or Sarah Logan or a lot of other gals who are on the main roster right now, in my opinion. So I'll watch a match with her before Sarah Logan.
She's got that natural arrogance too, which works.
Yeah, the character's great. The style's great. Everything about it is awesome. Big fan of her. And of course, it always comes down to at the end, which we said it would be. It's got to come down to Charlotte and her. You had the great pop moment, which you called to, which was we said it on the show last week. Tim Heaney said it. There's going to be that moment where Nia's in the ring waiting and Becky comes, and there it was, and she came in the ring, and there you have it, and it was everything you wanted and more. It was terrific. And, of course, you get the injury again. Nia hurts her again. Oh, my God, it's the knee. She finds a way to get out there, and she finds a way to beat Charlotte Flair. And the crowd rejoices. And the only problem with the crowd rejoicing is there was still, in all of that groundswell, Tim, there was still a lot of wrestling left to go. And it really took its toll on the Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match, which was, if you watched it without the sound, awesome. It was awesome. It was good. It was a classic AJ Daniel Bryan, not their best match, but great. But the crowd was so spent from screaming for Becky Lynch that they couldn't, no matter what those guys did, they could not get the crowd back into it.
That was a great moment when you need a cooler match. You could have had Miz and Shane in the bar in there and split those two up.
I agree. To me, they I don't know why it was there. And if you weren't, then you should have had Finn Balor first, because I think the Balor opening and the fact that was only going to be a 10-minute match would have been, if you knew that was going to be a 10-minute match anyway, for time or because of the story you were telling, and it seemed like they knew they wanted a tight 10, then that should have been the match, because then you could have, it was almost like a palate cleanser.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
It was like the lemon sorbet of wrestling matches. It could have been. But instead, I felt bad. I felt bad for AJ and Daniel, because you could see it. They kept trying to pull out every trick in the book to try to get everybody back into it, and a couple of the quick turns and a couple of things. They just couldn't do it. And it's fatigue. It's because it's a 7,500-hour event.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it was a clunker, but not because of the match. It was just because of the, like you said, where it was on the card and coming right after the hour-long whatever Women's Rumble. And, you know, Daniel Bryan's style as a heel is a little bit more deliberate, although he does pull out some of the cool stuff here and there. He definitely wants to make you angry that it drags a little bit. And I think that match did drag, but it wouldn't have been that much of apparent. There wouldn't have been that much backlash, if it, like you said, if it weren't a different spot in the card. So it deserves respect. It was a good,
and the crowd was good.
I'm not
dumping on the crowd either. I thought the crowd all weekend was terrific.
But it's a lot of wrestling.
And I thought the crowd, especially on Monday, was terrific. Look, the Monday night crowd was the best Monday night, most energetic, like excited Monday night crowd. And they had a lot to be excited about, but still, that was a really yay wrestling crowd. And I think they kind of need that. And I think they should think about that when they book some of these events in some places, and they should go back.
Phoenix showed itself really well this weekend.
They really did. And you got to realize, if you had a crappy WrestleMania, then you better make sure you don't have a crappy Backlash pay-per-view in New Jersey, of all places, because New Jersey is not going to hold back and tell you what it thinks of you.
Right.
They're going to chant stupid things. They're going to call you out on your nonsense. Arizona, they're happy to be there. Everyone's really excited. Yay, wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was the thing about Backlash last year. It was so doomed to fail. And then you put it in New Jersey where nobody was going to allow it to succeed because everybody was so mad already. Like, people went there just to boo.
Yeah.
Like, how much does it cost me to boo? All right, double that. I want to sit floor. I want to boo so loud that I'm in the front row.
That's Jersey for you.
And it is.
I know.
If that was in Idaho, if Backlash was, you know, I mean, seriously, if Backlash was in New Orleans or somewhere like that, I don't want to, yay, you know, but I'm sorry, well, it was a bad one because New Orleans had WrestleMania last year. But you know what I mean? Like, if
I know
they
what you
put
mean.
it in San Diego, they wouldn't have gotten that reaction.
No.
In Jersey, live from Newark, people booing things. No kidding. All right, let's move on here.
But we got to talk about Eric Rowan, though, a little bit.
Oh, yeah, Eric Rowan shows up in a flannel shirt, and he's got a beard, which means he must be friends with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, like maybe from the past, too. They knew each other. Who knew?
Well, who knew? Well, I mean, would you accept a Daniel Bryan-led Wyatt family kind of thing?
Well, like an
dudes with beards and flannels? Like,
recycling and all that. Yeah.
I don't even know what, like, I just think they're just putting those guys together. I mean, I think it would be cool to see Daniel Bryan lead this pack of giant Neanderthals.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's good for his character as a shorter guy to have the security too. So
right? I mean, it makes him look so small yet so huge.
Right.
It makes him look awesome. Like, hey, here's me and my giant friends with beards and recycling bins, and we're gonna come to your house and we're gonna compost. That's what we're gonna do.
Oh, but the SmackDown stuff was so brilliant with them. I gotta say,
it was the hemp belt. The hemp belt is. I mean, that's got to be his idea, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
It's got to be. If it's not, then whoever is should get a raise. Like, I know whoever came up with that and said, "Hey, you know what you need to do? This," and it looks awesome. It looks like it barely holds together. It makes me so happy.
With little wood pegs and random spots on the strap. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I like Rowan being with him. I think it's good to have
Yes.
Brian some muscle. I think it worked.
Mm-hmm.
You called this one, Finn Balor losing to
I
Brock Lesnar, but you were. Look, I said you know how I felt about this. I made it very clear. And I was skeptical that they'd be able to pull it off what you were saying, which I was cautiously optimistic for, but they did. I think Finn Balor left as good as you can from that loss. And I think it's because of Brock Lesnar doesn't hate Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell he hates Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Oh,
he does not like him. There's something about Braun Strowman. I don't know if it's because he's hit him before in the ring, but I mean, he literally punched. I mean, last year, go back and watch that paper.
Yep.
He literally almost knocked Braun Strowman the F out.
He MMA'd him basically. Yeah.
You got MMA'd. You got mad. You got really mad at him.
But that finishing sequence was great. I gotta say.
Well, you had and Finn Balor, did what he had to do there. Good promo the following night too. Everything all worked there. So look, it was good. I want to see where they take Finn Balor next. I would love for him to be the next challenger for Seth Rollins after. I really would. We'll see how that works out. Mm-hmm. We shall see. Seth Rollins, speaking of Seth Rollins, moving on, the winner of this year's Men's Royal Rumble, which certainly I would think the moments you would take out from there are obviously the stupid opening with Jeff Jarrett.
God.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there or why he got a second shot at it on Raw and then had to bring in Road Dogg. Like, hey, how can we make this crappier? I know. Let's bring out the Road Dogg, too, because he spells a name with lots of double things, too.
And they need to do My Baby Tonight, of course.
Oh, of course. I mean, that was just whatever. I never wanted somebody to get hit with a guitar more in my life than those two guys. So.
And then Elias just randomly turning heel, so there's that.
Is he? I don't know. I was kind of like, he's my hero.
Yeah, that's true.
He's my hero.
Change yourself from Jeff Jarrett. That's actually God's work right there.
Elias is just Elias. We just walk. You either walk with him or you walk against him. That's what you do. Yep. So the other memorable moments there, I think Almas was memorable. I thought Ray and Randy Orton had some good moments in there. No Way Jose, clearly incredibly memorable. I feel like I set that up. There. That guy got a payday for dancing down the ring, standing up, and then getting punched in the face, and then turning around and dancing, and then getting headbutted, and then dancing.
I could do that.
I could do that. I could totally get that payday. And I'll do it with more flair. I will. I will do it with more
Charlotte. Okay.
Woo! I will absolutely do it. And in terms of we saw Johnny Gargano, we saw Aleister Black, which was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I was annoyed that Baron Corbin, of all people, got rid of Aleister Black. That really pissed me off. That
was a message to us. Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't the kick in the nuts to the WWE fans of screw you. That was Vince McMahon saying, "I'm still here."
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not dead yet.
Basically, like Kane and Big Show eliminating Dolph Ziggler a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Speaking of Dolph, how about Dolphy making a run there at the end? That was unexpected.
That was nice. I don't know. It was one of the random things to happen that really didn't serve anything, but it was nice. We're not Dolph Ziggler fans in this podcast, so. Well,
yeah. Look, there was a window last year where I thought Dolph was onto something, and they should have. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was when everything was going to crap, so they just screwed it like everything else. But I think that window's over. Like, there's a guy that if he goes AEW, I don't think he's going to be better off. I just think I think he might just be done.
Stand-up comedy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know.
Good at it, but
well, I mean, is he better at it than wrestling? No. So that's a hard part. Then of course you had Nia Jax in this, which I knew R-Truth wasn't getting in that match. I just knew that was never happening. It was just too much of a setup. But Nia was not who I was anticipating. And I liked it. I was gonna say at first I was annoyed, and then the longer it went on, the more I liked it. So what did you like about it? What was it was like a guilty pleasure, right?
I think that's why they did it, because to get fan revenge from the whole Becky thing and all that, and just see her get her ass kicked a little bit.
It's like, how can we set up a world where Nia Jax gets RKO'd by Randy Orton? And I think we all just decided we wanted to live in that world.
And, the bigger picture, of course, it opens the door for maybe more possibilities of this sort of thing in the future, which is always a good thing.
How do we feel about that? With the whole message of equality and the whole message of domestic violence and not hitting a woman, I don't understand how we live in that line. Like, where does
it's a line? It's a line.
So why? Because she's a bigger woman.
She's
it's
trained.
Okay.
Because she's trained.
Because she's trained. Okay.
Yeah, it's. You see these people that come over like
she's a big monstrous woman, and it's okay to beat up on the big monstrous woman. You see what I'm doing here, right?
I see what you're doing. I see you're playing devil's advocate, which is good. I appreciate that, but they're all trained professionals that women can do the same thing.
No, that's how come there hasn't been a manager called that, like that called himself the devil's advocate. Yeah,
it's obvious. Should have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're not going to just throw them at the same time as men all the time, but like the superior women can do that at this point. I think.
Look,
Charlotte versus any of these guys could easily happen, right?
It could, but I'll say this: I think that I think it's more just Nia's got so much heat right now with the general audience that it was a great opportunity. It was actually good for her all the way around.
It was. I thought it was a nice job.
It was a good night for her. Where I've been a Nia Jax apologist at times, and then when that whole thing happened with Becky, I lost my mind.
Right.
Because that is unexceptable.
Your stage performing combat guy just took over. Rightfully.
My professional fight choreographer personality, my background and history of 20 plus years of experience just screamed for a good long time here on this show about that, because that's just impossible. You can't let that happen. Right. It's like somebody's turning around and punching Tom Cruise in the face. Like, you're getting fired if you punch Tom Cruise in the face on Mission Impossible. Okay, it's just you're getting fired. Tom Cruise might be like, "No, it's all right, everything's fine," but you're gonna get fired.
That's amazing.
Producers are gonna pull you aside, and you're fired. Okay.
That was an amazing Tom Cruise impersonation, by the way.
Oh, hey, accidents happen.
Oh my God.
But of course, at the end there, I was surprised that Drew McIntyre wasn't at the end.
Yeah, that was.
He was one of my final fours. I thought was a lock. Mm-hmm. So you got Braun. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Braun. It was Dolph, and it was Seth. That was their final four.
Braun, almost all Seth. Yeah,
because I think it was a quick one though, because what happened was almost got out right away then.
Yep.
Right, or Ziggler got out right away. One of them got out right away, and it was like, oh,
Braun eliminated Andrade and Ziggler pretty quickly.
Yeah. And then you had Braun hanging around there. And, again, the window of Braun, I think, is done. Now, going to some of the aftermath, too, the next night, I thought Rollins' opening was terrific. It was emotional. I thought authentic. And I think that's the thing that lacks on the programming is authenticity.
And sometimes with his promos, too, authenticity. Sometimes.
Yeah, and Triple H comes out and kind of picks up all the authenticity because, there was like a real moment there where I think, they can pretend that wasn't a real emotional moment, but it was. I know the difference. They're not that good of actors. That was a real authentic emotional moment where they were looking at that time. It's like, yeah, man, like this is what we do. And this was our dream and we're living it and we lived it and all that. That's an awesome moment. And then the Dean stuff was great. And that's what's all the more puzzling to me because that was the best thing Dean's done in a long time. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do your best work out the door, then you got to check yourself and think about, well, maybe, maybe some of this is on you if you're not happy with the direction of stuff. Like maybe you weren't working in the right way, or maybe I don't know. All I know is that I'm still not sure about how that's all going. And of course you get then Dean losing to Seth, that whole weird thing that we talked about before. You have the women's tag matches. You have Nia and Tamina advancing. You have the Riot Squad advancing. No surprise there.
Yeah.
And then you have the awkward, Bailey match with Ronda, which was good. And then the awkward promo thing there before. The crowd was just crapping on Ronda because they were just so pro Becky. It was so awkward to watch and so awesome at the same time because you can see it really bothers her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like there's a part of her going, okay, this is why I'm supposed to get this heat, but she's so sensitive. Mm-hmm. And it's just, and she's gone after this. Like she's going to take the time off. She's going to lose Becky. She's going to have a baby. My guess is she might never come back. Maybe she'll come back for one off.
They'll do the four horsewomen one off is probably what they would want.
Maybe, but you know what? She had a good run. It was a very effective run. And I think what you're seeing is you see all these women from the Mae Young Classic stuff. There was Xia Li was in there too. We forgot to mention her. There was a lot of women in this year's Mae Young Classic that are ready to make the move. You have Mia Yim. You have all these people right now with spectacular talent. It's time to move these gals up, some of them. And it's time to get them on the main roster because you can. And
we need a women's weekly 1 hour show. I keep saying this.
Well, it's we're going to move to Patreon then. For that.
I know.
But I'll tell you, man, it's great to see. And
the company needs a 1 hour.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it'd be we.
No. The company needs a 1 hour weekly show. But hey,
I mean, the Becky coming out and then the heat. Yeah. Obviously, between the two of them, it's just gold. It's going to get you through the next 3 months. It's awesome. Yep. And the crowd was into it. Everybody was into it. Her stillness when Ronda's freaking out. Everything just worked. It was just great.
Her the little things she's doing right now during each of these is just chef kiss. That's all. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's terrific to watch, and overall, I would think it was a pretty good Raw. I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Overall, good show. I said great crowd, and that really made the difference. Mm-hmm. When you have a great crowd like that, it was very positive. And now here we are. We're at a point now, and I think we're kind of close the show on this today.
Yep.
We're at a point now where we're on the road to WrestleMania because Tim, they pointed to a sign. And once you start pointing to signs, that can only mean one thing. It's time for the road to WrestleMania. And that means now this year, it's the antithesis, right? This year, everybody is getting exactly what they want. They all wanted Seth Rollins. They all wanted Becky Lynch, me included. Mm-hmm. I'll raise my hand. I wanted it. You wanted it, right?
Me too. Absolutely. Right. I wanted both of those things to happen. Yep.
Okay. Now you can't be miserable anymore. Now you can't whine and complain. You got what you wanted. They're starting the year off right. You have a couple months before you get the belt back on the show because Rollins is going to beat Brock Lesnar. It's going to happen. There's no way he's going to – there's no way. I mean, I don't even know if Vegas will take a bet on that.
Yeah.
Of Brock Lesnar walking away with that title. That would just be death to this company.
It's 99.9994%.
Right.
That's winning.
So they're going to put it on him, and it's going to be great. And I think everybody could use a good feel-good moment. I think the way things are going in life right now, I think everybody can look around and go, yeah, you could all have a good feel-good, and Becky Lynch would be a feel-good. And I think the lesson to be learned from Rumble is one thing. If Becky is not last, the come down from the Becky moment is going to kill whatever's after it.
you need to put something. You need to put a cooler after Becky in every segment if she's not main eventing.
Or you need to put Becky last.
So you should. I think it's the hottest thing working right now. It's the best crowd reaction, the best storyline. If you make it Charlotte, Ronda, Becky, I won't be pissed, but I think Becky Ronda needs to be its own thing.
I think the Ember injury puts a little strain where I think they should hold Charlotte. Charlotte, Asuka too. I think what you have to do is you have to keep some of us purists happy too. Yep. And I know I'm gonna speak for you, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. You would love to see a redo of that, right?
Obviously.
You're right.
Hell yeah.
If you love wrestling, there's no way you don't want to see Charlotte Asuka too. I want to see that, and I want to see Asuka go over this time.
And you just spoke for me, so absolutely.
No. Well, I think
she needs to get the win back.
She
needs to get the win back from Charlotte. She needs to, like you said, we beating Becky got her juice back, and now beating Charlotte would put her even further. So.
Yeah, and I don't care, how she gets it. I mean, it can be, a screw job, something like that, and spur another feud with Charlotte and somebody else. That's fine. Mm-hmm. You can do it however you want, but getting those two back together in the ring is special. And then if you're doing the whole thing where you have, if you structure the last three matches, Charlotte and Asuka, then Universal title, then Becky, Ronda, that is going to be a hell of a night.
My God. That'd be the holy trinity of endings right there to WrestleMania.
And I'm sorry, Seth Rollins, but you're not going to have the WrestleMania moment where you're the end. It can't be this year. Because I don't think a Brock Lesnar match with Seth Rollins is going to, at the end of the day, going to give the crowd that pop is going to be huge. Everyone's going to be happy, but it's going to be relief happy. Becky winning is pure joy.
Right.
When Becky wins, it is a collective joy from boys and girls and men and women. Everybody there is excited and on the same page, and everybody there is feeling the same vibe. And it is a special thing. It's a Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. It's a Rock thing.
It's a Daniel Bryan thing.
It's a Daniel Bryan thing. It's one of those things, and you have to accept it. And I'm not saying Seth Rollins isn't over. He's the most over guy they have. But I think it would be a huge mistake to put any match after Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. I
agree.
And Royal Rumble just proved it. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why you didn't want to keep pushing it down his throat, and that's why you wanted to structure it the way you did for Rumble. Okay.
I think having the double end pop, I think it's good to if that was the way you're going, I understand the logic behind it.
Yeah, and wherever you want to put the Daniel Bryan match too, that's fine too. Like it'll all structure itself out, it'll all make itself work. But I mean, right off the bat, Daniel Bryan versus X, whoever, it doesn't matter, it's going to be good.
Yeah,
and then the other three matches we just talked about, that's a hell of a 4 championship matches right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make my vote right now. Can I make my vote
for
Andrade versus Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, it's interesting. Almost turning face. That'd be interesting. Maybe, like you said, maybe because it's the teaming with Ray stuff could help him over time get that respect from the fans and blah blah blah. So
yeah, I don't even think he's face so much as he's just cool.
He's CN.
He's CN. Remember, he is CN still.
Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Almost is keeping it 100 every time he steps in that ring. So
wait, what's this? What's your last name? It ends in a vowel. Well, that's too bad. You got one name now, kid. Anybody who's foreign, you got one name.
Basically, Becky Lynch is technically foreign, so
yeah. Well, that's Irish, so
Asuka's got the one name. So
well, yeah, you just call her the man now. They won't even refer to her. So all in all, it was a great week for wrestling. I think a great week for WWE, and a little bit of puzzling from the news department. So we'll keep you abreast of all the comings and goings and everybody. Look, I'll tell you, man, I'm excited to see where they're going. I think Elimination Chamber with the women's tag team stuff is going to be terrific. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to how that all continues to evolve.
And the 6-man for the SmackDown title as well.
Yeah,
the WWE title.
And that going as well. And I'm back and forth about the Charlotte. I still say I want Charlotte on her own thing with Asuka. I'm going to stick to that.
Me too.
I just don't like 3-way matches as much.
Yep, and Becky Ronda's been. I mean, you can argue that Charlotte beating up Ronda kind of almost triggered a lot of this at Survivor Series. But I think Becky Ronda is singular enough where you can have a one-on-one, and like you said, not have a triple threat match main eventing. So
yeah, and the worst thing they could do is have Charlotte go over there. That's going to be the one that crushes everybody. And I love Charlotte, but I mean, and I know they want to make her the greatest, and that's fair. Like long term, you're going to probably look back and as popular as Becky is, and I love Stone Cold. I mean, and Stone Cold had injuries, so I think when you watch Stone Cold, even in his heyday, he wasn't quite the same wrestler after the injuries.
Right.
But I think when you look back, it's, Charlotte's going to have the better matches than anybody.
I agree.
Because every time you can say, oh, who's that best match with? And it's always going to be Becky and Charlotte or Asuka and Charlotte. And the and Charlotte part is always going to be there, kind of like the Shawn Michaels thing. It's like, what's the best Undertaker match? Oh, it's at and Shawn Michaels. Oh, what's the best? You go back and forth with those, and it's always, oh, and Shawn Michaels. And that's kind of why you look back with images of reference of everything. So,
but you go with the zeitgeist of today, it's Becky Lynch. So.
Nice vocab. Look at you.
Top hat to me. He has to make a cameo.
There you go. He dusts off the monocle, puts it on, pops the hat, and walks away. I would love for you to do it. That's got to be a move too, where you you have the hat folded, and then you punch the guy through the hat, and the hat pops out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good move. I love that for you. All right, you can follow Top Hat Tim Heaney. And by the way, if anybody can do if anybody does a picture of you, could take a picture of Tim and put a monocle and a top hat on him, I would love to see that. So anybody listening, I'll give you a shilling, a whole shilling, if you do.
And you'll be happy about it.
And you'll be happy. You'll be happy about it.
It'll be my new Twitter background for sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be my new Twitter background. You can follow him on Twitter at Tim_Heaney. You can follow me at Joe Pizapia17. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review us with 5 stars for In This Ring, and check out all the great content at the In This League site as well, and go hit up the ITL Army on Patreon. All right, that'll do it for us, which means there's only one thing left to remind everybody, and that is to be the man. You've got to beat the man. And Becky Lynch, she's the man.
Woo! I am the man.